Isabelle Shaver has been called to the stand. Ms. Shaver, please state and spell your full legal name.
My name is Isabelle Shaver, Isabelleshaver.
Please raise your right hand and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please proceed.
Sir. Isabelle, you just spelled your name, but would you put your name on the record of an open court?
Sorry?
Say your name again.
Isabelle Shaver.
Okay. How old are you, Isabelle?
I'm 15. I turned 16 this Sunday.
Okay, very good. It's your desire to testify in this matter, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of the arrest of your mother, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Isabelle, there's allegations raised and floating around that, so to speak, that you've been brought in here, kind of thrown under the bus. Has anybody pressured you to testify in this cause?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay. Now, Miss Johnson was appointed as an attorney ad litem to represent you.
Correct.
Did you meet with Miss Johnson?
Yes,
Did you discuss your case with Miss Johnson?
I did.
Did Miss Johnson go over all the rights that you would waive by testifying in this case?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your desire to testify?
Yes.
Do you understand your obligation to testify truthfully?
I do.
Are you going to testify truthfully?
I'm going to testify truthfully.
Would you explain your relationship to Laurie Shaver?
Laurie Shaver is my mother. Me and her are very close. We've always been very close. We do everything together. I don't know, she's like my best friend and a mom in one.
Excuse me one moment, Judge. Judge, I'm just asking Madam Clerk to mark the birth certificate. Court is taking judicial notice of this matter.
All right, defense, do you wish to view the birth certificate?
Excuse me?
Do you wish to view the document, the birth certificate?
Yeah, do what they feel. Judge, we had had a hearing on this matter as to the birth certificate of Isabelle Shaver. The court had approved mandatory judicial notice. Madam Clerk is identifying the document. And once identified, we'd ask that the matter be accepted to the court, again pursuant to your order.
Is that Exhibit B? B is in Delta? Okay. All right, the birth certificate has been marked as Exhibit D. Is there any objection from the state?
Your Honor, it's improper to admit that as judicial notice, but it is an official record, and because of the fact that it's an official record, it is admissible, so the state has no objection.
The court
All right.
has taken judicial notice and the state has.
Without objection, Exhibit D will be entered into evidence as defense number 1.
Isabelle, you met me some time ago, correct?
Correct.
Met me at or about the time of your mother's arrest.
Right, yes.
Did I not, a brief discussion with you?
We did, yes.
And upon that brief discussion, we had requested that Ms. Johnson be appointed, correct?
Correct.
Now, if I ask you any questions you do not understand, would you please ask me to rephrase the question, repeat the question, or try to ask the question in a different way?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall your father?
Yes.
His name?
Michael Shaver.
What was your relationship like with Michael Shaver?
We didn't really have much of a relationship. He wasn't very present. He worked at night, and So he slept all day during the day, and anytime he was home, we weren't really allowed outside of our rooms. We didn't have a relationship, really. He really wasn't a father to me.
Was the atmosphere calm? How would you describe the household?
It was very combative. It was very tense. There was a lot of tension constantly. It's not calm. It was the complete opposite of calm. Nobody, whenever he was home, it was just, I mean, it was scary. It was like I don't know, we were just stuck in our rooms all day, and then like whenever we weren't, it was just, he was very aggressive, and we didn't have that type of relationship. No, it wasn't a calm household.
You see any without talking about the facts of any events, did you see any altercations between Michael and your mother?
I did, yes.
Were they frequent?
Yeah, they were pretty frequent.
Were they physical?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask Madam Clerk to mark these exhibits. The court has previously accepted them and entered an order to take judicial notice of those.
Your Honor, can I
Those are
see
three
these?
documents. I'll show you.
All right, if the state could please view the documents. Thank you.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Yes, sir. Come on up.
So speaking about household events, you had spoken that it was an atmosphere that was tense, I believe.
Yes.
Stats? I'm showing you a composite exhibit. It has 6 photographs in it. Had you seen your mom in that same or similar condition on multiple occasions?
Yes.
Are those true and accurate depictions how you frequently observed your mom? Without speaking about the events themselves.
Yes.
Did those images and mental impressions in your mind cause you to feel the need to take your mother's side at any time?
Yes. I mean, look at her.
Did it cause you, Isabelle, to step up and in the past, on more than one occasion, and side with your mother?
Yes, it did.
In the pictures that you looked at, who committed those injuries to your mother?
My father.
Judge, we'd ask that this exhibit, this composite exhibit, without testimony as to the events, be admitted into evidence and published to the jury.
How's the exhibit identified? What letter marking?
It is being identified.
B as in Bravo? Okay. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Without objection, Exhibit B will be entered into evidence as defense number 2. Yes, sir.
Isabelle, I'm showing you what's marked as Defense Exhibit C for identification purposes. Would you tell the jurors what you're looking at?
I see my father with a torn shirt and blood.
Speak up, please.
Oh, sorry. I see my father, and he has a torn shirt and blood.
Whose blood's that?
I mean, I'm assuming his,
Sis?
maybe.
Now, the photos you looked at and testified to briefly, is this the individual that would do that? And see? We move Defense Exhibit C into evidence at this time, Judge.
And no objection? Without objection, Defense Exhibit C will be admitted into evidence as defense number 3.
Isabelle, how frequently would those events occur? Without speaking the details of the events.
It would happen pretty often. They'd at least argue and like fight really bad, pretty much on the daily. But it would escalate to those points a few times a month. Like it wasn't a rare occurrence. Like it happened often.
And as a matter of those events, and I may have asked this question before, did you feel a need to attempt to protect your mom in any fashion?
I did, yes.
Did you perceive your mother as a victim through those events?
Yes.
That response that transpired in you, did it become a natural and automatic response? You talked about the feeling inside of yourself of a need to protect your mother. Did that become automatic inside?
Yes, it did. Growing up, I mean, yeah, I've always stepped in for my mother. I would, do whatever I could do. I mean, I remember I had this stuffed animal, and her name was Lammy, and she was my favorite stuffed animal. And he used to, she would go to sleep on the couch, and because he would drug her water, and I would tuck her in, and I would, give her my stuffed animal to protect her. And obviously it's a stuffed animal, it's not going to protect her, but it was just, the act and the principle of it.
Was there a period of time when your father was removed from the residence?
Yes, there was.
Was your father removed from the residence on occasion
Yes.
as a consequence of these events?
Yes. Hmm.
And during the period or the absence of your father, did your mother start dating anybody?
After he had been removed for a while, she did start dating, Jeremy.
Okay. What was Jeremy's last name?
Townsman? I don't think I know his last name. It's something like that.
Okay. How often would Jeremy come to the residence?
He was over all the time. I mean, he came over for holidays. He was there for my brother's birthday. His son went to the same school as me and my brother, so he would meet up at our house every day before we go to school, and he was at the school for all the plays, the events, all that type of stuff. He was over all the time.
Would he come in the morning?
Yeah, morning, night.
Would he ever spend the night there?
Yes.
Would y'all go to places with Mr. Townsend or Jeremy?
Yes, we would.
Was he there for Christmas?
Not Christmas Day, but Christmas Eve.
Was he there for any other holidays or special events?
He was there for my brother's birthday. I don't really remember any other holidays, but I know he was there for my brother's birthday and Christmas.
Do you remember going shopping or out on the town with Mr. Townsend?
Yeah, we used to go to this Chick-fil-A a lot. That was one of the ones with like the playgrounds, and we'd go with his son and then me and my brother. We did that a lot.
Do you know if Mr. Townsend or Jeremy was married?
I don't think so.
Isabelle, I'm sorry I have to do this. But let's talk about Michael, your father. Do you know anything about the death of your father?
I do.
Do you know anything about how your father died?
I do.
Could you tell the jury?
So, it was a school day, and I'm sorry. And he,
First, let's relax, go slow, make sure the jury understands
Okay.
the events, okay?
okay, it was a school morning. Me and my brother were getting ready for school. He hadn't been at the house for a while. He was kicked out, removed, and me and my brother were in separate rooms. We had pretty much been ready for school. I was eating my breakfast and I was watching TV. We had these like little plastic tables in our rooms, and I was watching TV and I heard arguing. Initially, I thought it was the TV, and then I was like, no, that's not the TV. So my room, it was my room, and then it had a bathroom and then a spare room. And so they all connected to each other, like through the bathroom. It was almost like a little like pathway. And so I heard, the fighting and the yelling, and it escalated. So when I was little, I would go through there to like sneak around. And I opened the spare room door, and in front of the spare room door was the dining room. And in front of the dining room, there was a glass door, like a sliding glass door. So I opened the door to the spare room, and I stood there, and I saw my father, and he wasn't supposed to be there. And my mom and my father were fighting, and my mom went to leave the argument, leave the porch. They were out on the porch, and he pulled her by the arm, and he pulled her into her lap onto one of the porch chairs, and he held her there, and then she was like, we can work things out, like we'll figure this out, it'll be different. And he was like, no, there's no next time, there's no figuring it out. And he pushed her onto the ground. And he started kicking her in the stomach and in the back. And then he took his other foot and he put it on the side of her face. And she was screaming, and he was like saying there's not going to be another time, and that he was going to kill her at this time. And I heard my mom screaming for help, obviously, and then he put his foot on the side of her face and pushed it into the ground, and I didn't hear her anymore. And I'm sorry. And so I went to my mom's room, and I went at her end table, and I grabbed her gun, and I went back out, and I went to the door. The door was already open, and he had my mom on the ground still holding her to the ground, still kicking her, and I shot him, and nothing happened. He didn't fall. Nothing happened. And then Jeremy.
Let me stop you a little bit, Isabelle. Okay, you say nothing happened. Was he standing or sitting?
He was sitting in the chair.
He was sitting in a chair.
He was sitting in the chair.
His foot on mom's neck?
Right.
You shot him. Do you know exactly who you shot him, or?
I'm not exactly sure. No.
Okay. Did you shoot him from the rear region, or where do you think you shot him?
I was aiming towards his head, but I'm not sure where the bullet went.
Okay. And what happened after you fired the gun?
He was just sitting there. I mean, he wasn't moving. Nothing happened. There was no blood. There was no nothing. And then,
Let me stop you there. Okay, let me interject here and there if I may.
okay.
Did you feel when you fired that shot that that had to be done or he would have killed your mother?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Firm on that?
I'm firm on that.
Was he using that type of force in your mind? That
Yes.
it was necessary?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. What happened after you shot him? Or you believe you shot him?
Afterwards, Jeremy came, and
How long?
it was right after it happened. Like, I hadn't even had a chance to walk away, move, nothing yet. And, he came in, and he took the gun from me, and then he shot him again. And that's when he fell to the ground. And, my mom had crawled away. He fell to the ground. Jeremy shot him. He told my mom to take us out of the house, take us to school, and that we needed to leave. We are not to tell anybody. We can't tell nobody. We can't call the cops. We can't say anything, or else he was going to do the same thing to me and my brother. And he was going to, hurt us too. So we went to school.
Okay. So you leave the residence, you go to school. When you get to school, what happens?
We get to school. Nothing really happened at school. I would say I was most definitely in shock. But at the same time, it was like, because those types of events happen often, I was very used to the violence and seeing things like that. And so I was still able to perform normally at school. And just kind of, not go about my day, be at school.
What time did you get out of school?
I was in elementary school, so I think around 3.
Okay. When you came home, was Jay there?
Yes, he was. He was fixing the front door.
Okay. Was there any evidence of your father in the residence?
No.
Did Jeremy make any mention about he'd take care of this or anything like that?
Yeah, when he had told my mom to take us out of the house, and he told us not to tell anybody. He said that he would take care of it.
Okay. Now let's get off that subject. There was a period of time, I understand, where y'all were intending to build a duck pond, correct?
Correct.
Tell me about the duck pond and what the plan was there.
So we had a bird farm. We had a bunch of different birds, and we needed a place for the ducks. So we built this big whole pond shaped thing, kind of like an artificial pond. And I remember me and my brother, we got these little red plastic shovels, and we were gonna dig the hole, make the pond, and that was the intended use for it.
Did you guys finish it or
No,
put any ducks in it or what?
no, we never ended up finishing it. We ended up later on turning it into a fireplace.
Okay. Had there been previous discussions you were going to put a fireplace when you abandoned the duck pond?
Yeah, once we decided we weren't going to do the duck pond, we were thinking about either doing a fireplace or a pool.
Okay. After this happened, at the house? What happened to Mom and Jeremy?
They broke up. I mean, that the last time that that they were really like together, I guess, was the day my dad died. They broke up, so obviously they stopped seeing each other. But he would come, like, I remember one time we were at a light, like a stoplight, and he, like, pull up next to our car. This happened on multiple occasions, and he would, like, scream at us from his car, like, tell us to roll our window down. I remember we were going to this Publix, and he would follow us through the store to try and, like, talk to us, and then we switched Publix to a different Publix. He came to that one, too. I remember he came to us in Walmart one time. He was driving by our house, trying to, talk to us, talk to my mom.
When was the last time he drove by the residence, you think, Isabelle?
Sorry?
When was the last time that Jeremy drove by the residence that you can recall?
At our old house, it was quite a while ago, but we've moved since then, and he has driven by the house we're living at now.
When was the last time, you think? How many months ago?
It wasn't too long ago, probably less than a year ago.
Okay. Isabelle, this item is not here right at the present time, but did you have on the property a blue tarp? And by that I mean the type of tarp you see sometimes put over roofs if there's a leak or to cover a boat or an item.
No.
Okay. Did you have, sometimes you see on boats or other items straps to hold it down. Did y'all have any of those on the property?
No.
Frank Merritt. You recall Frank Merritt?
No.
Did you ever go to a tractor show?
Yes, yeah.
Was there a man, Frank Merritt, present that you recall?
Yeah, we did go. I mean, if that's Frank Merritt, then yes.
Okay. Do you recall leaving the tractor show early or anything like that?
Yes, I was really, really sick that day, and it was really, really hot. I'm really sensitive to the heat, and I have,
Let me interrupt you there. Do you have any health issues?
yeah, I have like autoimmune issues.
Okay. Any arthritis or other issues?
I mean, we're still trying to I think it's arthritis. We're still trying to figure out what it is. They just have diagnosed me with hypermobility for now.
Robert Marcato.
Yes.
Did you ever observe Mr. Marcato coming to the house to remove your father because of an injunction or any reason?
Yes.
During that event, did you see your mom waving a gun at him or anything like that?
No.
Scott Amatuccio. How often would Mr. Amatuccio come to the residence?
He wouldn't come over that often because he did live far.
Okay. Wilma Nichols. Do you know a Wilma Nichols?
Our neighbor?
Okay. Did Miss Nichols come by and socialize with y'all at all?
No. We've hung out with her probably once when we first moved there.
Isabel, I'd started this with a discussion about your mom being arrested. Do you feel that it's imperative that you step up and tell this jury what happened?
I do think it's important that, I say what happened, yes.
Okay. And everything that you've testified before this jury, is it true and is it accurate?
Yes.
No embellishments?
No.
Nobody pressured you?
No.
And you've had your own advice of counsel, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, State?
Thank you, sir. May I please court?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shaver, you need a minute?
No, I'm okay.
You said your birthday's coming up?
Yes.
Okay. And you're about to turn 16?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to pick on you, but these microphones and the recordings are recording everything. Sometimes it's hard to understand mm-hms and uh-huhs and things like that. So as
Okay.
much as possible, try to remember to say yes and no.
Okay.
And if you say it, because we all do, I'll probably correct you, and it's just to make sure the record's clear,
Okay.
okay? All right. Now, the events that we are talking about obviously are some much longer ago, correct?
Correct.
All right, we're talking about stuff that happened in 2015, 2016, correct?
Right.
And some of this stuff that you've talked about is even older than that.
Right.
And so when we are talking about time frames in November of 2015, how old would you have been then?
2015. I'm be 16. So I would have been. I'm awful at math. Oh my gosh.
6 and 7 years old, sound
Yeah.
about right? Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And there's obviously been a long passage of time since that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes. Sorry.
That's okay. Now, it's fair to say that you don't want anything bad to happen to your mom, correct?
Correct.
You said you were very close to your mom. She's like your best friend.
Yes.
And that you definitely want your family to stay together.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Correct.
Yes? Okay. I want to talk to you before we start talking about the event that led to your mother's arrest. I want to talk to you about some of the other stuff that you had mentioned. At one point, you said that your dad would drug your mom to put her to sleep. Do you remember saying that?
I do.
Okay. And during the course of this case, you've actually been talked to by law enforcement, by the Children's Advocacy Center, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yes. Yes.
And that interview with law enforcement would have been at the time of your mother's arrest in 2020.
Okay. Yes.
Okay? And then you went to the Child Advocacy Center and were asked questions about things that were going on a few months after that, correct?
Yes. Correct.
And then the deposition where I asked you questions about this was in this calendar year, 2024.
Yes.
And there are going to be some times that I'm going to go ahead and refer to those various statements, and I've got the transcripts of them so you can review them if it helps refresh your memory, all right?
All right.
Have you reviewed any of those?
Yes.
And previously when you talked about the allegations about your dad, quote, drugging your mom, you were 5 years old at that point, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And what you described is you would see him put some sort of powder in a drink and give it to her.
Yes.
Okay. But when asked what he put in the drink, you didn't know, correct? All right. And you didn't know what it was.
I don't.
You don't know where he would get it.
No.
And quite frankly, you have no idea what he was putting in that drink.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't know where it is or where it came from.
I don't.
All right. Now, the morning that your father was killed, you are saying that he was not living at the house at the time, correct?
Correct.
Saying, and previously you had stated that the last time he had lived at home was before you were in second grade. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I would say first, second grade-ish.
Okay, so you hadn't lived at home at all since you were in first or second grade.
Yeah.
All right. And you were in third grade during the 2015-2016 calendar year, correct?
I think so.
Do you need to think about it a little bit, or are you good with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what grade was in. I did 2 grades over the summer, so it kind of makes it a little.
Okay. Now, if your school records indicated you were in third grade in the school year of 2015-2016, you would be.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
So second grade would be the 2014-2015 calendar year.
Okay.
Is that
Correct?
all right? So you're saying that he had not lived with you since before August or September of 2014.
Yes.
And the event that we're here to talk about, you don't know what grade you were in when that happened, right?
I don't.
Okay. You don't know who your teacher was when this happened, correct?
Correct.
You don't know what month this happened in, correct?
Correct.
You don't know what year this happened in, correct?
Yes.
You can't think of any holidays that this event was near, correct?
Not necessarily holidays, but like birthdays. I know it was. I'm pretty sure it was after my brother's birthday. I would say probably spring, summer-ish.
Okay. And previously you had said you thought it was spring or summer because you had recently been to the beach.
Yes.
Okay, and so that's in keeping with your brother's birthday?
Yes, his birthday's April 1st.
And when you say spring or summer, what do you mean by that?
Like, I mean, anywhere between spring or summer. I mean, that was so long ago.
I understand. Let me try to ask a better question. I may think spring starts in March.
Mm-hmm.
You may think spring starts in May. So when you say spring, what months are we talking about here when you're saying spring or summer?
Probably starting in like April, May.
Okay?
I feel like that's when like the school year ends is like May, so like that'd be almost summer.
Okay. And when would summer end to you?
August, September.
So this event that led to you getting a gun, shooting at your father, having him eventually killed in front of you, and then being threatened, having your life threatened. The best you can come up with as far as when this happened is sometime in some year between April and August.
Yes.
The day that this happened, the events that you have described all happened in between the time frame that you woke up and went to school that day, correct?
Correct.
And that would be from 7 o'clock in the morning till about 8 o'clock in the morning, correct?
Yeah.
And what you are saying happened is your father showed up unannounced sometime in that time frame, correct?
Correct.
You're saying that he hadn't lived there since 2004, since about August of 2014. When was the last time that you had seen him prior to him showing up and having this confrontation with your mother?
Last time I saw him, I don't remember the exact day or anything. I mean, I remember like certain memories because they weren't good days. Like they, had bad events happen on those days. Because, I mean, like I said, this was so long ago, so I don't remember just like, days. I just remember like those bad events that took place. Okay.
But in relation to the time that you saw your father killed in front of you, how long had it been since the last time you had seen your father?
I would probably say a few months.
And you do not remember how he was dressed?
I believe he was wearing a pair of shorts.
Okay. Do you remember previously, when I asked you that question in a deposition, saying something different?
Would
it help refresh your memory if I showed you your transcript?
Yes.
Showing you your deposition, page 37. And line 9. I'm just going to go ahead and ask you read to yourself the question on lines 7 and 8, and then your response on line
I said I don't remember. Yeah.
8. Okay.
And I also just said that I'm not sure, but I think it was shorts.
I understand. I just want to make sure when I asked you these questions previously this year, you didn't remember them.
Right.
Okay. And there's obviously pictures of his dead body wearing shorts. Did you review that before your testimony changed?
No.
Okay. Now, so he shows up. You haven't seen him in a long time. An argument starts out on the back porch between your mother and father, correct?
Correct.
You went out and saw them arguing.
Yes.
Is that a yes? Okay. And I believe the way you described it is, and if I have the time frame that this happened, please correct me, but he was sitting in a chair and his foot was on your mother's head, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you described how he was, it's going to be difficult, kicking her with his other foot, correct?
Yeah, it started out with him kicking her in the stomach, in the back, then she was screaming, so then he put his other foot on her head to stop her from screaming, pushing her head into the ground, basically like suffocating her, choking her. And he continued to kick, but obviously because he's using his other foot now, it wasn't as strong of a kick.
But he's, as you described it, he's sitting here with one foot not on her neck, on the side of her head, correct?
Mm-mm. Yes, correct.
Kicking her in the back and kicking her in the stomach, correct?
Yes.
You go back in the house, correct?
Correct.
You had a phone, or I believe you described it as an emergency device that you could call 911 in the house, correct?
Correct.
All right. You did not call 911, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you stated you were never taught how to call 911, correct?
Correct, but that's not the reason why we didn't call 911.
Okay. You go into your mother's room, correct?
Correct.
And you go to her end table
Yes, correct.
and you get her pink and black gun.
Correct.
Showing you what's been previously entered into evidence as states 26. You recognize this firearm?
That's not the gun.
Okay, so she had a different pink and black gun?
Yes.
How many pink and black guns did she have?
I mean, I'm assuming 2. I'm not sure. We had a lot of guns in the house.
Okay. So you grabbed some other, how do you know that's not the white one then?
Because the one that I used was not entirely, it was black, and then the handle was pink.
Okay. So you grabbed her other pink and black gun,
Yes.
and then you go back outside.
Yes.
And at that point, your father is still sitting in that chair,
Yes.
his foot on her head.
Yes.
Is he still kicking her?
No.
Okay. What's he doing?
I mean, he's just kind of yelling at her, like holding her to the ground with his foot. And he's saying, like, you know, he's going to kill her. It's the last time. Like, they're not working it out because,
Right.
yeah.
Is she on her side, on her stomach?
She's on her side. She's facing, so her stomach would be facing towards him.
Okay. And what was she doing?
Being held to the ground.
Was she struggling?
Yes. She was trying to call for help and scream, and then he pinned her to the ground with his foot.
With his foot on the side of her head?
Yes.
Could not get, she couldn't get out?
No.
So you take your mom's other pink and black gun, and from about 5 to 10 feet away, you shoot him.
Correct.
And you shoot him in the back of the head.
I think so, yes.
Okay. Do you ever remember saying that you shot him in the back of the head?
Yes.
Okay. So previously, before today, you definitively said, I shot him in the back of the head, correct?
Correct.
But that's changed now.
I mean, no, not necessarily. Like, I shot him in the back of the head. I don't know where the bullet went, but that's where I was aiming. That's where I'm pretty sure it hit.
Okay. You hit him.
Yes, I think. Yes.
Okay. And when you hit him, today you said he just sat there, correct?
Yeah, Yeah, he sat there and he's like shaked.
Okay. I want to make sure that was clear because you didn't say that on direct. He was almost like seizing, correct?
Yeah.
All right. He didn't get up, he didn't move, he didn't try to run.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so clearly you hit him.
Yeah.
All right. And then, pretty much simultaneously to you shooting your dad in the back of the head, you're saying Jeremy just happened to show up.
Like I said, he came there every single morning before school. This was right before school. We already had our clothes on. We were in the middle of eating. Like, we were about to leave for school. Like, he was there. He came before school.
He would come to your house every day before school so that your mom could then take you to school?
I mean, he would come with us. They would hang out. His son went to school there.
Okay. Now, after he arrives, while your dad is shaking and as you described, basically seizing in the chair, at this point, the amount of pressure he's putting on your mom's head has released. Is she able to get up?
She crawls away. She doesn't stand up immediately.
Okay. But you're saying Mr. Townsend came over and took your mom's other pink and black gun from you.
The same one I had, yes.
Yep. And shot him again.
Yes.
Where?
In the head.
Okay. And at that point, he turns around and threatens you and your brother that he's going to kill you as well.
Not immediately after he has the gun in his hand, he helps my mom up, and he tells us that my mom to take us to school. We need to leave the house. And so, I mean, that's when he lets us know, like, no calling the cops, like, I will do the same thing to you that I did to your father, basically. Saying he will hurt us, he will come after us, he will kill us if we say anything.
You're the one that shot him in the head.
Yes, first.
Okay. And so your mom actually went ahead and took you to school after
Did.
this?
Yes.
Okay. Dropped you off like nothing was wrong.
I mean, I asked us to go to school. We were in the car, and she asked if we wanted to go to school, if we were comfortable, and I said yes.
Okay. And you said that you didn't talk to anybody at the school about anything, or you didn't react at all at the school about anything because, as you said, this was normal.
No, I mean, I said that I was in shock, but I did not mention this to anybody as I was just threatened not to mention it to anybody. No, it wasn't normal to see somebody die, but having these type of experiences where there's a lot of violence in the house, there's a lot of, trauma and fear, that was normal to experience that and then go to school afterwards.
But what she said on direct was you were able to go to school and function just fine.
Yes.
Because this was normal.
Yes.
No one had ever been taken to the hospital before in any sort of incident between you and your mom, correct?
Correct.
No one had ever been seriously injured in any incidents before where they required medical attention, correct?
Correct.
And certainly nobody ever died before, correct? Now, today you said when you returned from school, Jeremy Townsend was still at your residence.
He was fixing the front door.
And do you remember previously during your deposition saying that after this happened and you went to school, you never saw Jay back at the house again? Do you remember saying that?
Yes, after that day, yes.
What I'm saying is after you went to school, you never saw Jeremy back at the house again. Today you're saying when you got back from school, he was there.
Yes, he was. He was
What
there.
I'm asking is, do you remember saying
I
something?
do remember saying that.
Okay. You described Jeremy as coming over and spending the night at the house, not every day, but quite a few days out of the week. That was normal, correct?
Correct.
When you got back from school that day, you did not notice any changes to the property, correct?
Correct.
You did have a huge hole in the backyard, as you described, which was going to be a duck pond, correct?
Correct.
Had that been filled in?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. And that was the area that was eventually turned into the cement slab, correct?
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Yes,
All right.
sorry.
That's okay. Since you sat there, shot your father in the back of the head, and were threatened by Mr. Townsend, with your life, you have only once been taken to any sort of counselor or any sort of therapy, correct?
That is correct.
And that was actually sometime this year, close in time to your death.
Actually,
correct?
no, that's not correct. I think I went when I was little. Me and my brother went. I think it was at a church. I'm not entirely sure if it's classified as counseling or therapy, but it was pretty much.
Let me ask this. Did your mom ever take you to see a counselor to deal with any of the trauma that you, first of all, witnessed right in front of you, but also participated in by shooting your father?
I mean, yes, I did go to counseling.
When?
I think it was probably in this past year, maybe a little bit longer ago, but yeah,
And that was one time.
yes.
Okay. And that was this year.
I don't know if it was this year. I think it was the year before.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
When you shot your dad, that was back in an unknown year, sometime between April and August, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Okay. And there was probably at least 5 years, if not more, because his case has been pending for 4 years, between any counseling that your mom brought you to, correct?
Yes, correct. And the counseling that I went to, it was literally like only one time. Like it was
Right.
literally only for an evaluation, like
Very
nothing
little.
more. Yeah.
Okay. We previously spoke about the different times you've talked about this event, either with law enforcement, the Child Advocacy Center, or during the deposition that I asked you questions. I'm going to ask you some things about how your story's changed over that period of time, okay? And when your mom was arrested, you spoke with Detective Tammy Dale at your home, correct?
Correct.
And at that time, you said the last time you saw your dad, he worked at an airport, correct?
I think so. Maybe, yeah.
And you said, and this was in 2020, the last time you saw him was a few years ago?
Yeah.
All right.
But 2020 was also 4 years ago, which was a lot closer to the last time I had seen him.
Right. So your memory would be better then.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that time, she asked you, do you know what happened to him? And you said, I have no clue, correct?
Correct.
All right. You also said, I don't know, he just left, correct?
Correct.
And the detective asked you if you ever asked your mom where he was. Do you remember that?
I guess.
And your mom told you she doesn't know because he doesn't talk to us, correct?
Correct.
And you also went to the Child Advocacy Center to be interviewed that same year. That would have been December of 2020, correct?
Correct.
And during that time, when you were interviewed, you stated the last time you remembered seeing him was when he was arrested in 2014, correct?
Correct.
And they asked if he came back to the house after that. You said, I don't know, correct?
Correct.
All right. And those pictures that you looked at, when were they?
The ones that Mr. Wicks showed me?
Yeah.
You
refer to him by his first name?
I do sometimes, yeah. On
Okay.
accident. It's not on purpose. It's not to be like disrespectful or anything.
Okay. But you've clearly talked to him a few times.
I talked to him a few years ago, and I didn't tell him the full story. It was kind of just me saying a little bit about my side, and that's when I got my attorney, Miss Kelly.
I'm sorry, I sidetracked you there. Do you remember when those photos that he showed you were?
I don't remember necessarily when they were,
Okay.
like the time period or anything.
Okay.
It was,
Did you see how they happened?
I believe those ones, I don't know exactly what event that one was from.
Okay.
Because, like I said, there was a lot of events like that, and they all, not all, but most of them ended in like kind of the same, like physically like harm. You know what I mean? So I don't know which one that one belonged to.
And we're talking about physical harm. We're talking about bruises on the arm, correct?
Bruising, blood, yeah.
Okay. But the blood that you said you saw in the pictures was your dad's blood?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay. And when at the CAC interview, when they asked you, you had already said that the last time you remembered seeing him when he was arrested in 2014, and then asked if he ever came back to the house after that, you said, I don't know, correct?
Correct.
And then specifically you were asked, so you did not see anything that happened that would have made you have an idea of what happened to him, and you said no, correct?
Correct.
One moment. Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Wiggs?
Yeah, just briefly,
Yes,
Judge.
sir.
May it please the court.
Yes, sir.
Judge, Isabel, there's been a discussion about the guns and multiple guns at the house.
Correct, yeah.
Tell us about the atmosphere and the amount of guns that y'all had in the household.
So we talked about my mom's guns.
Go slow, but the jury can understand you, okay?
We also had, in the living room, we had this really big mirror, like huge. And it was on the wall. It was like latched onto the wall by like these, so like it could like flip up like this. And so behind it was, I want to say like a hole, but it wasn't really a hole. It was kind of like this really deep like divot in the wall. And there was like a rack, and then he stored his guns there. So you could, like the wall, and then the mirror lifted up, and there was like guns on the wall.
Okay. So there were numerous guns within the residence, is that fair to say?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
The question is, as the juries may wonder, how did you learn to fire a handgun?
My dad, he was obviously very interested in guns. So he did hunting a lot. We had 5 acres of land, so we had a lot of space to shoot the guns. And so he always taught us like gun safety or whatever, and would take us outside to shoot the guns.
Was that a routine thing?
Yeah, we did it quite often.
Okay. So did you have any trouble or difficulty in pulling the hammer or on the gun?
I mean, it was kind of difficult. I had to use like 2 hands.
Pardon me?
It was kind of difficult. I had to use like 2 hands to pull the
Okay.
trigger back.
Okay. On that part, Judge, I'll end. Mr. Camuccio may have some questions.
All right, thank you. State?
Nothing further,